Welcome to Catia training. This time we are doing some assembly design. So let's start with the assembly design. First, I would like to take a toolbars back to the standard. So you go Tools, Customize, and Toolbars, and Restore Position. You can also restore all contents. Okay, close. And then I will drag some toolbars out from there. So you will see where the constraint tools are located. They currently are dimmed because I don't have any parts. Then let's insert new product. In other words, assembly, and I want it to go under this one. And then I go and change the name of it. This new product gonna be Assy, and let's say instance name. I wrote the instance name in this one, so you will see how it actually goes. Okay, and let's give some numbers there too. Okay, so now instance name is just to free up some computer power for you. Instances in that way that you rather add in instances of the particular part, in other words copies, than actual part itself. So you just create an instance, and you add in one axle, and then you could just have instances of this axle in Catia. Okay, now in this assembly I now want to add some parts on it. So it's blue, so it's active. I go insert and new part, or existing component. If I add a new part, I could go then and just model this part in here. So start sketching and do it in normal way. Okay, but let's add then existing parts there too. Existing component, and I add my bottom part there. Okay, and there we go. Now I notice my bottom part is not in the right orientation, so I need to turn that. Now to manipulate the parts in the Catia, you could just draw this axis from here with the left mouse button, holding it down, and drop it there. And when your part is active, this axis turns active. Now I want to turn this to the flat, to my front view, so I need to turn this axis. I could go and just turn it manually like that, but to have my precise movement, I turn it first a little bit so I know which axis I'm gonna turn, and I hit 90 there and apply, and I close and I draw this one. This axis is a really nice manipulation to when you have multiple parts, and if they are top of each other, you just drop that axis there and move it around. Now let's add more parts. We have assembly active, and we go insert existing component with the positioning. Existing component with the positioning will add a constraints for your part. Before that, you always wanna constrain your first part, fix that on the location so that doesn't move when you add other constraints, other parts with the constraints in it. So let's add a quickly anchor, what means the fixing part, and you see it there, and it also appears in the tree that fix one for the bottom one, so that's the bottom one part. Okay, now let's go back there, insert existing component with the positioning, and I want to put this one, blue middle. So you can use now this constraint, and then you can later on add more if you can't apply it exactly right here. So if you want to first, for example, manipulate it using this one. So I want to put now surface contact between this surface and this inner surface, and it's there nicely. Okay, now I actually click OK there, and I add in this constraint now in here. So I click this coincidence constraint, and I wanted those axis holes going coincidence. Easiest way to show the whole center axis is to select the middle there, so middle whole inner surface so long time that this dotted axis line comes up. Now I got constraint on those. As you see, it doesn't automatically update this straight away, so you need to click this update icon there. Now we have a nice constraint there. Next, I would like to create an angle between this and this, so it's some little with more visible angle. Okay, I create from this surface to this surface. And let's say 45 degrees. And OK, and we update, and there we go. So of course you could now then go and change this. I could go and for the you could also change the sectors, how it's affecting and so on. And I could say, let's say 50 degrees. 50 degrees. And OK. And update again, it turns out round. And you could also animate these constraints and so on and so on. Okay, let's now put the next part. Now let's add one more part and create some instances out from it. So existing component, and I want to add there to this assembly, and I select the part, and there you go. This is my existing component called red part for some reason. Okay, now I can move around, assemble this, but I could no, let's do it in that way. I go insert, I can define the multi-instantation. So here we go, how many instances I have? I would like to have 5. Spacing 60 millimeters. And do I need to, which is the reference axis? X, going that way. And spacing 60 millimeter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this 100. My part is actually 60 millimeter wide. I have 5 new instances, and I say apply. Okay. Notice what happened. Apply. Okay. Created a duplicate. So let's erase those. They all activate on the tree. And I can go. I can delete. Space this away. I can also do the same thing in the tree. So I delete most of them just there. Delete. There you go. I actually just left one in there just to play around. Now, let's add some constraint there. So I want to have an offset constraint between this surface and this surface. And I say 10 millimeter. And I update. Now, these two parts are all the time same, and I want to put coincidence. So stay following to each other. Again, the same like we did last time. This axis, and now I want to select that axis. And done the update. And there we go. So this should be now working together. Okay. Now, I also want to move these both same time up there. So let's make this surface first up there. So coincidence with this surface up this surface. And after that we want to get those holes aligned. So let's make coincidence between there. Try to get to the inner surface of this hole. There we go. And I wanted the coincidence to be in here. Let's try to get the inner surface of this hole so that they get this dotted line where it's just flashed that one. Okay. And the update, and here we go. So I got this instance there next to it, so if this is, for example, you could have some shaft between and so on. So this is how assemblies works, and you've got way more multiple tools there to experiment, and same tools what we're using from the insert function, you will find it from there. So to save this, I would recommend save management, since we created some parts in there. So you will go and use the save management, and you can choose what you want to save it and which names it will come. So there's save management, there's a new parts, and you save as them, and it shows the nice review window. Save management is always the good tool to use, so you don't lose any information what you actually create. Alright, and actually this is showing also these other products where I got other windows behind open. Thank you very much.